All right, here we go, man. In 3, 2, 1. How you doing?
Doing good, man.
How's everything been?
It's been awesome.
Can I be completely honest with you right now?
Go ahead.
There are so many people that are probably freaking the fuck out right now. It's a pleasure to
man.
meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
How's
too,
everything
brother.
been?
It's been awesome, man. With the new record, Proof of Life, and the tour kicking up, it's been extremely busy, but busy's what you want, man, when you got a new record out, and really seems like it's connecting with the fans, and that's all you can ever hope for.
Being the front man of Creed as well,
Yeah.
and you guys came back in 2011 with Full Circle, if I'm not mistaken. So I think a lot of people were under the auspices that Creed would continue and there would be something else coming out after that. But then I read in an interview, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were going to start working on the next Creed record, and Mark Tremonti and all the other guys just kind of bailed and just kind of went and did their own thing or worked with Alter Bridge instead, and that's why you started working on Proof of Life. So what happened there?
Yeah, man, that's essentially what happened. And things happen in life, and thank God that I had an opportunity to call up an old friend, Howard Benson, and say, let's make a record. I had been working on my second solo album prior to Creed reuniting in 2009 and making Full Circle, and I had spoken with Howard, and Creed ended up using Howard for Full Circle. So really, it was just like, all right, you guys want to do that? I wish them nothing but the best, and they're brothers to me. We're like family, and just like family, you don't always agree, and sometimes plans change. And really, I looked at it as an opportunity to really be able to really continue where I started with my book, which came out in 2012 called Sinner's Creed, and really write a record that was founded with all the clarity and perspective that I gained in writing that book.
I know it talks a lot about the trials that you had gone through in your personal life, with bouts of with drinking and with drug abuse and whatnot. So my question then would have to you would probably have to be, if you had not gone through everything that you'd gone through, had you managed to stay sober, do you think that Creed would still be around today? I mean, do you still think that you guys would be touring more often than not?
I don't think that had anything to do with why we separated in 2003. The core reason why it happened had to do with just artistic goals and dreams. My problems with alcohol and drugs on a hardcore level really happened in their intensity after that.
In the interim, then.
Yeah,
Okay.
During the break, every situation, we all back in the day had our moments where we drank too much or made some mistakes here or there.
Sure.
But the real addiction and the disease of alcoholism didn't come into my life till after those decisions had been made. So I really don't think they impacted it at all.
Did T.I. really save you?
Absolutely.
He really did.
T.I. saved my life, yeah.
That's because when I first heard that story, I was like, that sounds insane. That, like, you'd never expect of all the people and of all the places for it to happen, man.
It's just as the reality of it is just as surreal.
Just waking up and seeing T.I. like hover over you, asking if you're okay.
And looking back at it, it's like, are you kidding me? I mean, this really happened. But yeah, man, I was in South Beach and near death on a ledge after falling from the top of the penthouse room at the Delano Hotel. I had a broken skull and broken hip and about 20 other broken bones, and was really was out there for about 2.5 hours, and in hindsight probably approaching death really fast. And wouldn't you know, T.I. walks out on a balcony and discovers me and gets help for me. Dude's an angel, man. I mean, let me tell you, he's saved like 2 other people's lives.
Has he really?
Yeah, if you do a little research, you'll see stories that he talked some guy out of jumping off of a bridge or off of a building or something like that, and he saved another guy's life. So I tell you, man, I really think that guy is touched by God, man.
I saw a video that you of you recently. You were doing a radio show, I believe it was Preston and Steve, and they showed you that video called Creed Shreds.
Yeah.
And you saw, and you were laughing at it, even though you guys have accomplished a lot. Why do you personally think that the band has a target on its back? That it's just a constant, band or music to essentially just to mock.
It's just par for the course. It's what happens when any rock band achieves an enormous amount of success and global appeal. When you're down and no one knows who you are, and they love you and they want you to become the biggest rock band in the world. And then when you get there, all of a sudden it's not cool anymore because everyone else likes you too.
Okay.
And you're not, their underdog. And so, it's happened with rock and roll bands all throughout history. It's happened again after Creed with bands like Nickelback. I could say it just like it happened with Creed. Everyone was pulling for Nickelback. Everyone loved Nickelback until they became, bigger than God, so to speak. And then all of a sudden, when there's mass consumption, it's not cool anymore. We live in a very trendy, clique kind of society, and once the cat's out of the bag with art in particular, and once it becomes suitable for mass consumption, a lot of the people who like to consider themselves cool or in the scene no longer support that, when in fact they were big supporters when the band was rising.
Okay.
And I think it's just part of it, and it comes in cycles, and it's all about the music at the end of the day, and what music stands the test of time. At this point, 20 years later, no matter what has been said or the jokes or whatnot, our music has stood the test of time, and then in fact, with the new music that we're all making individually and respectively, we're continuing to make music that is credible, is good, and that I feel will stand the test of time. It could get to you, and there were times before I did understand what was going on that I didn't understand it at all, and I took it really personal. But now, in just understanding our culture and how Americans are, because it's not that way in the rest of the world. We love to raise people up, and then we love to tear them down. I mean, look at what's going on to Bieber right now.
To be fair, Bieber kind of deserves it, don't you think? He's a bit of an asshole.
Well, I don't think so, man.
Really?
I think he's a young kid, man. He's, it started when he was so young. He's only 20 years old. He's doing what any kid would probably do with no parental guidance, all the money in the world, and everyone telling him yes. So
it's one thing, though. I think, all right, if you go through that phase where you go, you have your party days and stuff like that. I know you can attest to that for sure. But I mean, for him, man, I think it's just getting to the point where it's just gotten beyond annoying, and somebody needs to sit him down and just be like, dude, you seriously need to just stop whatever it is you're doing and calm the fuck down, man. You don't think so?
I agree with you, and I'm sure those conversations have already been had. The reason that I have compassion in that situation is because I've lived through it. And also I've seen this is just a repetitive cycle. There'll be another band, there'll be another artist that's going to rise up and then do the same thing that we're seeing with Bieber, the same things that I did. It's just a cycle in our artistic culture and in being a celebrity, and it happens all the time. The thing that my heart breaks for is I just don't want to hear that person's dead. And so I just keep praying that he will get it together and before it takes his life.
You have a very distinct singing style. Now, people have been saying for however long that you sound a lot like Eddie Vedder of Pearl Jam. Where and how did you develop that singing style? And is Eddie Vedder a main influence on how you sing?
What's funny is Pearl Jam and Creed were on different coasts, essentially breaking at about the same time. So I was in Creed, writing music and playing shows in Tallahassee before I ever knew who Eddie Vedder was. And I think that just is a happenstance that, those guys were kicking butt and became staples on the radio. At the same time, Creed was doing their thing on the opposite coast. I'm a huge fan of their first record, but this is the voice that I was born with. This is the voice that God gave me, and it's just a sheer coincidence that there's similarities, and I think they're probably that anyone who comes after us, moving forward in rock and roll, that has more of a baritone style voice, and that sings, like kind of guttural, is going to get those comparisons, and I'm honored. And I'm sure that Eddie's probably feels the same way.
Can you impersonate any other singers?
Can I impersonate any other singer?
'Cause I know a lot of people, myself included, that have done impersonations of you.
Oh, I love it.
But I want to know if you can impersonate any other singers. Can you do an Eddie Vedder impression?
Oh, no, I can't do that, man.
Like just nights when you like go to karaoke and you're just, and you're just screwing around and you pick somebody else's song. Do you try to take on their singing style?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
So like who in particular? Like now you've got me curious, man. Like who in particular would you say you could do really well?
Really well? I don't know. You know what I mean? But everybody loves to imitate Axl. I like to imitate Axl when I'm doing karaoke. But
what song?
I don't know. Patience.
Okay.
November Rain.
Okay.
So. But I'm not going to do it.
Figured I would just give it a try. Yeah. That's okay, though. That's okay. With all of the stuff that's happened with you in the past, I mean, do you now look back on your life and do you just have a sense of forgiveness with anybody that you may have offended you in the past, anyone that may have offended you in the past? Are you more on that trail? Reason I'm asking is because are you and 311 cool now?
Oh man, we're absolutely cool.
Okay, good.
It's so funny how things come full circle, no pun intended, to the Creed album.
Of course.
Probably a year after I got sober, about 2.5, 3 years ago, I got an email from Nick Hexum.
Yeah.
And he's going on 7 or 8 years sober now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, bro, I needed to call you, bro. And I was like, dude, I've been trying to get a hold of you to call you, man. And literally, like, at the same time, we're both like, sorry, bro. I was wasted that night, and I hardly even remember what was going on. And, and both would say the same thing. It wasn't a reflection of the people that we are sober. We were both in the middle of addiction, man, and getting tore up, and neither of us even have a clear memory of what happened.
Okay.
So, nothing but love for those guys and for Peanut and 311.
Sure.
And, we were both just obnoxious, crazy drunks and let the alcohol, ruin us for a while. But, I love those guys, love their music. They're great guys and really look forward to seeing them soon and hopefully even playing with them, because I think it'd be cool for the fans to see, where you can be and then where you can go and what love can do.
A lot of bands, they write music. Sometimes they look back on their discography, they look back on certain things that they've written, and they go, why did I write that? Why did I do that? So have you ever had any real musical regrets?
I don't think things that I harbor inside that I'm just like, oh my God, and feel really ashamed of. I mean, there are songs on my first record and some stuff on my first solo album, that I wish I could do again. On the first Creed record, One has always been that song for me, because every time I hear the groove of that song, I think of Carlton on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like doing his dance. The band knows that. It was a conversation that we had, where I didn't want to put it on the record, and it ended up being a #1 hit for us. I do actually love the song now, but there was a time in my life where something the only mental picture I can give you is think of Carlton doing his dance on the Fresh Prince, and that's what I would feel like when we started playing that song. But I've since moved beyond that and understand the connection and have connected with the song. And then on my first solo record, man, you know, I really felt like I had a great bunch of songs, and then, you know, alcohol and drugs kind of came in the picture, and it just went in a million different directions. So, you know, I think one thing on my bucket list may be that at some point I want to go back and do a few of those songs. Right.
Could you explain Marlins Will Soar?
A guy comes up to me in an airport, and he happens to own the Florida Marlins.
All right.
Asked me to do a song, and his caveat was, you'll get free tickets for life, and do you have kids? Do you have sons? They can be bat boys. And I said, I would love to do that, man. And then I'm just a fan of baseball and Major League Baseball. And
the fact that they're Miami Marlins now, I mean, because they didn't have a really great season last year.
I am all cool with the Miami Marlins and the Florida Marlins, and I'm thankful for that opportunity to do that. And then also the fringe benefits of getting to go see my favorite teams play when they come in to play the Marlins. And then, you know, that opportunity for my boys to get down on the field and meet pro ball players. It makes me like the hero dad. So, you know, everyone won in that situation. And I know a lot of the fans didn't get it at the time, but if they think about it from the perspective that I did, I think they would get it.
So it's more about just like, you know, this is like more of the perks, like for me and my kids. Like, I mean, I'm going to write a song for the team that I love, and we also get X, Y, and like you get to go to games for life now. And you get to take your kids to games for life, and they get to be a part of the team's culture.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's what it's all about. I mean, I'm a Braves fan. I'm an Atlanta Braves fan. I have been since I was a little kid.
What the hell? Wait, why write a song for the Marlins then?
They asked me to.
So if the Braves come to you tomorrow and say write a song for the Braves, you're gonna do that too?
Hey, I might. You know, give me a call.
No loyalty. It's just all about whoever's gonna hook me up with the free shit. I am down. Final question for you, man. What's the rest of 2014 looking like for you? What do you got planned for the rest of this year? You got touring now behind the new album, and then I mean, there's still a lot of year left. So what are you gonna be doing with your time?
Man, I'm gonna be all over this world, playing this new record and touring and really just trying to continue promoting these new songs and new material, as well as, you know, playing music for the Creed fans out there, because I still play 7 or 8 Creed songs per night as a part of my set. So I'm just enjoying right now the live show and playing music and being out there and having a good time. So that's what I plan on doing for the next couple years.
Do you ever think, and I know this may seem awkward, but do you ever think at any point you may do like a kind of like a Scott Stapp, Alter Bridge kind of show? I mean, because the crossover wouldn't be too difficult. The main band is there. It'd just be a switch up between you and Miles.
No.
No? Wouldn't happen?
No,
Okay.
wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen.
Just because, like, I mean, I don't know your thoughts on Alter Bridge at all, or if you're a fan of Miles personally, or...
I think Miles is a tremendous musician.
Okay.
I mean, he is so talented. That guy is amazing, man. And you know, but I just don't ever see that happening.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, again, thank you so much for your time. Much appreciated, man. It was really, really cool to meet you again. Proof of Life, guys. It's out right now. Came out last November, so you can definitely go and pick it up. Scott Stapp, you've seen it. It's finally happened.